Once all the biscuits are done, assemble everything you're going to need for gluing, and to make sure you've got enough time left in the class period, please make sure you need at least 10 minutes. So I have my board, the edges, bottle of glue, 8 biscuits, 4 of these orange-handled spring clamps, and I have a few extra bar clamps here. I'm going to want 3 one way and 3 across the top going the other direction. We're going to clamp this thing like crazy to make sure all the gaps are nice and tight. First, we need to put the biscuits in the slots. So we take your glue bottle and you're going to just put a line of glue. Don't fill the slot completely for the same reason we didn't when we did dowels much earlier in the table. Just a little bit of glue so they're going to stay in there and be nice and tight. And if it is too tight for whatever reason, flip it around and see if you can get the other side. The clamps will definitely push that in, so don't worry too much about it. Turn and do all the biscuits the same way. Get all the dust off the board, and again, I like using this board as a backer just because when the pieces are on, they don't flop off, and so I really like using it. It keeps it nice and flat. Now we put our numbers back together. Number 3 is on that side, number 2 is here, and then 4 and 1, there we go, just like that. So we do the same thing, a little bit here and here, but this time, of course, I'm going to put a lot more on each edge, down the middle, and on each edge of that biscuit. And I will glue the miters, but I'm going to do that on the next piece. I'll just kind of press that in and get it really close. We can adjust it a little bit later. Work your way all the way around doing the same thing. Now I'm going to put glue in the miter joint. And that one for sure I want to spread out all over the place. And you can do that on the rest as well. I didn't on the first, but that's okay. Get that on this one. And then slip that into place. There we go. And work all the way around. Now this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky. You got to get your corners pretty darn close to where you need them to be, and then we'll tighten up the clamps a little at a time. Now these little clamps go on the ends, on the corners, to help the ends stay flush as you're tightening. If they get off a little, that's okay, but I want them pretty close. The closer we get now, the less sanding later. All right. Line up your other 3. So you're ready to tighten all of them at about the same time. We snug those a little bit, and I can see it shifting a little, and that's fine, that's good. Make sure to get rid of all the gaps. You may hear some popping or creaking as you're going, and that's basically the boards that are starting to set with the glue, and with the pressure on the clamp, it suddenly releases and pops into place. So that's not uncommon, so don't worry too much. And I just go around and snug up all of the clamps about the same amount, keeping an eye, I don't see any major gaps. That's most important. Then use a pencil, I wouldn't use a marker in this case, to write your name, Mr. E, A2, and set it aside to dry. Now this probably won't fit in the pipe clamps over there. Just set it in between them. You'll understand, so that it's leaning against the wall out of the way.